Sometimes the most profound insights come from the most unexpected places. Today, our source isn't some dense academic journal. Nope. We're diving into a sixth grade social studies worksheet from Iran, and we're going to see what the absolute basics of agriculture, the stuff taught to kids, can tell us about how a whole country feeds itself. We're just going to follow the worksheet's lead. First, we'll tackle the basic difference between farming and gardening. Then, we'll get into the grains, the real backbone of the diet. After that, we'll see what else is on the plate, look at how technology is changing the game, and finish up with a really important lesson about getting that food from the farm to your fork. So here it is. This is our guide for today. It might look pretty simple, but trust me, the questions and answers right here lay out the entire framework for understanding how Iran thinks about its food supply. Let's break it down, starting with the absolute fundamentals. Okay, so the worksheet kicks things off with a really core distinction. It basically says that before you can even talk about what you're growing, you have to understand the two main ways you can grow it. And the very first question is simple, but it's so crucial. It just asks students to name the two main agricultural activities. This is step one in organizing the entire world of plants that we eat. So what do you think they are? And here's the answer. On the one hand, you have farming, or ziraat. This is all about annual plants. Think wheat, corn, the stuff that you plant and harvest all within 1 year. But on the other hand, you have gardening, or baghdari. This is for the long-haul plants, right? Trees and saplings that give you crops year after year, like date trees or orange groves. This isn't just about vocabulary. It's a whole different mindset, distinguishing between short-term food production and long-term agricultural investment. So now that we have our categories straight, the worksheet shifts from how food is grown to what food is the most important. And in Iran, that conversation always starts with the absolute essentials, grains. This is the big one, isn't it? What are the crops that form the very foundation of pretty much every meal? The answer here tells you everything about a country's food security and even its culture. So the worksheet lists 4 main players: wheat, barley, rice, and corn. But then it gets more specific, pointing out that wheat and rice are really the stars of the show, the primary foods people eat day in and day out. We're talking bread and rice, the heart of so many dishes. Now, among these grains, the worksheet puts a little spotlight on rice, basically calling it out as being pretty high maintenance. It's a picky crop, you can't just grow it anywhere. And that immediately brings geography into the picture. So, what's the magic recipe for happy rice plants? Well, according to our worksheet, you need a perfect storm of 3 things: lots of humidity, temperatures that aren't too extreme, and just tons of water. This is definitely not a crop for the dry parts of the country. So if you need all that humidity and water, where do you find it? This is where the worksheet cleverly pivots from a farming lesson to a geography lesson, showing the kids how the climate completely dictates what you can grow and where. And the answer is up north, in the country's beautiful green rice belt. The worksheet points to these 3 provinces: Golistan, Mazandaran, and Gilan, which are all right up against the Caspian Sea. That's where the climate is just perfect for this thirsty little grain. But hey, a country can't live on grains alone, right? So next up, the worksheet explores the other key food groups that bring nutrition, flavor, and variety to the table. The worksheet lays out a really clear hierarchy here. After you cover the essentials, the grains, the next level of importance belongs to 2 big categories: legumes and what it calls summer crops. First up, legumes. All the hearty, protein-packed stuff like lentils, split peas, and all sorts of beans. These are the building blocks for so many classic stews and dishes. And then you've got the summer crops, the jalizi. And this is where things get really fresh and vibrant. We're talking watermelon, melon, cucumber, tomato, eggplant. You can just taste the summer, can't you? So we've covered what grows and where it grows. But what if you want to break the rules of nature a little bit? What if you want to grow something when it's out of season or in a place where it really shouldn't grow? Well, our 6th grade worksheet has an answer for that too. I just love how simple and powerful this definition is. A greenhouse is basically a way for farmers to create a perfect little bubble, a custom-made environment so they can grow plants literally anywhere, at any time of year. It's about taking control back from the weather. So how does it actually work? It's all about control. You build this enclosed space, and then you use technology to play God with the climate inside. You control the water, the air, the heat, and you can even use special devices to adjust the light. You basically get to design the perfect day, every day. Okay, so after covering how to grow food from the most traditional farming all the way to modern greenhouses, the worksheet ends on a note of real practical wisdom. Because it's not just about producing food, it's about what we do with it. This final question is brilliant because it shifts the focus from the farmer to us, the consumer. And it's a question that is so relevant absolutely everywhere. How do we make sure all of this hard work and all of these resources don't just end up in the trash? And the answer it gives is just so refreshingly straightforward. It boils it all down to two golden rules. Rule 1, shop smart. Only buy what you actually need. And rule 2, host smart. When you have people over, cook for the number of guests you have, not for a giant army. It's a simple, powerful lesson in just being mindful. So there you have it. From the life of a plant to the ethics of a dinner party, this 6th grade worksheet has given us an incredible masterclass in the fundamentals of agriculture. It gives us such a solid foundation. But it also leaves us with this huge question, doesn't it? In a world that's changing so fast, how are these core lessons going to have to adapt for the next generation?